Hey guys, we're back in the base. We got a lot of catching up to do, but first, let's try out the new survey drones that we got. I think we have new ones anyways.
There we go. More data for the dome.
Oh yes, the dry urn and the green swell, I believe. Yeah. I think the green swell in particular is going to be really cool to look at. Let's see. That's the area of the desert where it's been recently filled with vegetation.
Good choice.
I mean, minus the blight, it's cool. Nice. Let's try the dry urn too. I do want to see all of them. Oh, the one for the Sheerside Mountains? It's going to be amazing. Dry urn. Where is that? This one. That's where the shell snapper was. Nice. The base should be visible too, right? Where is it? I think it would be like up that way. I'm not sure.
Hi, Gaia.
Hello, Aloy.
How's Kotalo doing?
I have detected that the loss of his arm still deeply pains him. In an effort to remedy this, I have discussed a potential solution with him. I believe he will want to fill you in on the details.
A solution? I'll check in with him when I can, then.
I mean, the old world must have had some crazy prosthetics, right? That could be cool.
There's a few people here now, and they're learning. All about you, the ancient world. Almost like what was supposed to happen before Apollo was purged.
Yes. While the loss of the Apollo database was catastrophic, there is still much that can be gleaned from the data you have uncovered. For instance, Varl has been reviewing the last recorded entries from those who perished during the Pharaoh Plague.
Oh.
Hearing their hopes and fears made him quite somber.
I mean...
Anything I should be worried about?
I do not believe so. I have elected not to intervene, to allow him to process this on his own terms.
I hope we have some reflection from Varl specifically regarding to what he's learning and the Nora faith and their beliefs, right? Because I feel like the Nora, their whole culture is tied so heavily with Zero Dawn, more so than the other tribes.
The processor Ether was installed on was part of an ancient war museum. A memorial to something called the Hot Zone Crisis. Do you know anything about it?
My knowledge of historical events was unfortunately lost with the Apollo database. However, climate data indicates a peak in regional temperatures in the 2030s.
Before the clawback, yeah.
Such conditions would see extreme, prolonged droughts, an increase in dust storms, and a loss of habitable landmass.
But they wouldn't have built a museum in the middle of a wasteland. So I guess things got better eventually.
Yes. Data suggests that temperatures returned to average levels in the clawback era of the 2040s.
There was an ancient tank embedded in the bulwark,
Yeah.
buried under a bunch of boulders. Any idea how it got there?
During the Pharaoh Plague, the US military resumed the use of human combatants, as automated machinery was unreliable. It
Corruptors.
is possible the vehicle was part of a pre-automated war fleet.
So they fought against the Pharaoh machines in the valley, until the mountain was blasted apart and buried them. When we were at the facility where we found Beta, there were records that said Zenith were researching embryogenesis. I know they traded their ectogenic chambers to Zero Dawn, but why were they researching it in the first place?
At this point, we can only speculate. Perhaps at one time they meant the Odyssey to be a colony ship,
Makes sense.
necessitating such technology. As their goals evolved over time, so did their areas of research.
So they got more selfish as the risks of staying on Earth kept rising.
Once again, isn't it just wild that we're talking to Gaia? I mean... Okay, that's a lot.
Beta believes the Zeniths want to use the terraforming system to wipe out life on Earth. Start over, so they can build it how they want.
Further supporting our hypothesis.
But why? Given their technology, they could wipe out the tribes of the world by easier means. And if they're the same people who left Earth 1,000 years ago, wouldn't they want the biosphere to be as it was?
It is likely they adjusted to different planetary conditions in their colony on Sirius. They may be trying to recreate that environment here.
Oh, interesting.
Turning Earth into a new Sirius. Their own personal playground.
Weird. I assumed Sirius would be close to Earth, right? Maybe not.
So the Zeniths are the same people who left Earth. Physically immortal. How'd they figure it out?
From what we know of far Zenith, it is plausible that prominent geneticists and engineers were offered a place aboard the Odyssey in exchange for their expertise. Given enough time, technology, and resources, any challenge can be overcome.
Like how Minerva eventually generated the deactivation codes for the Pharaoh Plague.
A good comparison.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Zeniths. Gerard, Eric, Tilda, Verbena. Beta said they were some of the most powerful people on Earth. Do you know anything about them?
No Apollo, right?
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
no. My personal database is limited to those who worked on Zero Dawn. Additionally, it appears Far Zenith was quite secretive about their members. Only one, Oswald Dalgard, was ever publicly known.
The founder, I think.
Right. He was the spokesperson back at their old launch facility.
What we can conclude
Oh, never mind.
from your and Beta's experiences is that the Zeniths are ruthless in pursuit of their goal. To protect life on Earth, they must be stopped.
The extinction signal didn't just wake Hades. It made every subordinate function self-aware. Why?
I have wondered this myself. So far as I can tell, Hades was the sole target, and the partial sentience imparted to other subordinate functions was incidental.
A signal that precise would require thorough knowledge of the system. How could the Zeniths know that?
From the records on your focus, it appears Far Zenith had an informant during the development of Zero Dawn.
Hank Shaw. He was supposed to steal a copy of the system for Far Zenith, but Elizabeth and Travis Tate caught him first.
Yes. It is likely Far Zenith acquired knowledge on the systems designed through him, despite his failure.
So from what Beta told me, I guess we can assume the Zenith's technology is powerful in all sorts of ways, right?
Yes. As your encounters with them amply demonstrate, they appear to make extensive use of robotic servitors. Further, they seem to be equipped with some kind of protective energy field that shields them from harm.
They seemed indestructible, but that weapon the rebels used stripped their shield somehow.
Hopefully we see Silence soon.
Throughout history, every defensive technology has eventually been defeated by an offensive counterpart. While we lack the anti-shielding weapon, were I to absorb Hephaestus and utilize it to create a large force of combat machines, no shielding could withstand such an assault indefinitely.
So there's hope.
Always.
That's nice.
You mentioned that the superstorms have subsided.
No,
Is that
I liked
Ether
them.
or-
Yes.
Oh well.
Thanks to Ether's capabilities, weather patterns in the local region should mostly stabilize for the time being.
That'll be a relief for the Tenakth. One of their villages is still recovering after a mudslide caused the whole place to flood.
I will continue
Glad we got
to
that dialogue, 'cause we
stabilize
did the quest.
atmosphere for as long as I can.
Why did Ether take up residence in an ancient war museum?
As with the other subordinate functions, Ether needed to install itself on a processor with adequate storage and power. One in the museum appears to have been sufficient, given that the holographic displays were still active.
So Ether was assured it could stay for as long as it needed to.
Correct. Though it is curious that it chose a place surrounded with the ancient ruins of aircraft.
I guess that makes sense, right?
Maybe it also felt at home there. So, once Hephaestus has been recovered and merged, you'll regain the capacity to mass-produce machines at cauldrons around the world.
Yes, and to program their behavioral routines, or even control them directly.
So you could build an army of machines. Attack the Zeniths and take...
I think we had this dialogue
It
already.
is in my nature to humanize.
Yes, we did.
So yes, I could design, given the nature of... I must admit, however, no matter how... Indeed.
Oh, I wonder why it showed as new.
The missing subordinate function.
Artemis, Eleuther...
Sorry, I think we also did this one too.
Disseminating. Unfortunately, all archive...
Pharaoh, huh?
Yeah, we did.
Understand.
I remember that
He
line.
been
All three of them were. Do you still need...
empowering. Unfortunately, attaining them in the short
Ah,
term is
that's the
very
new
likely
the new
impossible.
part. We know that
There's
Zenith
a
has
show
them now,
covering them
which is
by taking over the
also
Zenith base. But we'll need Hephaestus and a bunch of combat machines to do that.
Correct.
I feel like they. One sec, I'll wait
off.
for.
Farewell, for now.
I swear, Guerrilla said that they planned this to be a trilogy, right? So we can't get Hephaestus this game because then, like, we win. Oh, machine strike. Probably errand, I guess, right? Yeah.
Hey, look who's back. You find what you're looking for?
I did. One step closer to taking the fight to the Zeniths.
Can't wait.
I made a new friend while I was getting Ether.
Yeah, I've seen him. Kotalo's a broody fella. You do know the cards just say these Tanakh drink people's blood?
Yeah, I
You
remember.
shouldn't believe everything you hear.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you trust him, so do I.
How are things going around here?
Hey, you tell me. Varl's new girlfriend tried to kill me earlier.
What did you do?
I made one joke about how they, eat grass a lot.
Oh
How
no.
does anyone fight with nothing but tree leaves in their stomach anyway?
From the looks of it, the Utaru.
Yeah, well,
Beans.
I wasn't expecting her to be that fast.
Just try not to get hurt. You still sifting through loads of data?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's lots of words. I thought maybe I could try finding things with more, pictures. Not much luck there, but I did find out about these holofilms. Like images put together to tell a story. They were made to look like they were the real thing. The Oseram-like shows. I bet they pay a lot of shards for those hollows.
Yeah, the guys down in Vegas would love that too. Oh yeah, we can play Strike with Errand. Very cool.
I better get going.
Still haven't played it though, so.
I'll be here if you need me.
Oh right, Zoe. We're doing the second verse, so we have a quest to talk to her.
Aloy, you found another one of Gaia's sub-functions?
2 down, 1 to go.
I'm glad her healing can continue.
Have you met Kotalo yet?
Yes, but he has kept to himself. Tanakh don't have much use for us outsiders. You must have made quite the impression for him to offer his fealty.
That we did.
Are you
Took
guys
down a
training
mountain.
with Erend as well?
If you count trying to stick a spear in his gut as training, then yes.
I've been told. Please tell me you weren't being serious, though.
Of course not.
Good.
I was going for a couple of broken bones. He called the Utaru leaf grazers. Laughed at the idea of us simple farmers being formidable fighters. Before I knew it, he and I were battling it out in the common room. The man is slow, but he can throw a hammer around. Don't look so worried. We're evenly matched. For now. Next time he's going down like a load of boar dump.
Just try not to kill each other.
Injuring his pride should be good enough.
We're gonna have our own melee pit in here.
Found anything else combing through that data?
Varl and I have been looking into the animals of the old world. Apparently there used to be thousands more species roaming around than there are today. Can you imagine that? I'd give anything to see them, even as holograms. Though I know that without Artemis or Apollo, that may prove difficult. At least I can find comfort in knowing Gaia used many of them as inspiration for her machines. Her memory honors them.
I love Zoe. She's great.
Now that you have those control cores, are you ready to reboot the land gods in Plainsong?
Not yet. Gaia told me the reboot code has to be altered using data from the cores. She updated my focus with software to accomplish this task, but apparently it's very complicated. It'll take time.
Well, let me know if you need any help.
I will.
My guess is we have to get Demeter first, because that'll heal most of the blight, I imagine. And then to heal the blight around Plainsong, we need to do the second verse. Just my guess, but...
I better get going.
Right. You've got that sub-function to deliver.
Okay, we also unlocked new rooms, apparently.
Holograms. Gaia, I thought you said the data here was lost.
I was able to repurpose the equipment to store the data you have acquired in your travels.
I am the data. Okay, what's this?
It's a shuttle. Like the one I blew up at Far Zenith's launch facility.
Varl.
Varl seemed pretty interested in space travel. I guess he wanted a keepsake.
Okay, so our new mission is get Varl to space. Yep, that's gonna happen.
To knock the equipment. Kotalo must have moved his stuff in.
Oh, other room, okay. I thought Aaron is on this side and Kotalo's over there. Ah, he's got a share.
Looks like some of the holograms are working now.
I have repurposed the displays to track Regala's activity in the region.
Cool.
A useful war map.
Very cool. Look at the map. What's that? The desert, probably, right? Yeah, the still sands.
Aloy.
It's good to see you. I'm guessing you've got a lot of questions?
I've been told of our enemy and their intentions. Your friends showed me to the vision.
He's got to
for keeping
focus.
This place, Gaia, and explain the situation surrounding the other you. They gave me this focus as well. I don't pretend to fully understand everything, but all I really need to know is where to train and when to fight.
Welcome to the team, then.
Yeah, how would you begin to process all of this information? I mean...
You said the Bulwark was your home a long time ago. That you were part of the Sky Clan.
Yes.
That's all you're gonna tell me?
Fine. As you wish. My parents were killed in a clan skirmish, so I was raised by my squad. As I grew older, I came to be known as an accomplished fighter. Tekote took a special interest in me. I fought by his side against the Karja, and led my squad on a dangerous climb into the Daunt. It was I who opened the gates at Barren Light from the east side, allowing the Tenakth to raise it.
That must have gotten you some attention.
Indeed. I was welcomed home as a hero, and I was content.
Then why'd you leave?
I became a marshal.
Why did you leave the Sky Clan to become a marshal?
I was sent to the Kulrut by Tekote.
Oh.
Back then, I would have obeyed his every order. I believed in him, like one would a father. I was too blind to see the fear in his eyes. Fear of a rising young warrior challenging his command of the clan. I returned a hero from the battle at Barren Light. But to him, I was only a threat. Never occurred to him that I had no interest in rising above my station.
Why did Tekote think you wouldn't be a threat to him if he sent you to the Kulrut?
Tekote knew that if I survived the Kulrut, I'd be forced to forsake the clan to serve the Tenakth as a whole. I'd never be allowed to challenge his command, even if I wanted to. After our victory at Barren Light, Tekote spoke to our people, said it would be selfish to rob Hikaru and the marshals of a warrior like myself, even though he knew perfectly well I had no intention of ever leaving. It was exile, guised as an honor. One he knew I couldn't refuse. So I became a marshal, and never looked back.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
I am not. Though it pained me at the time, a marshal is what I was destined to be.
Man, Tekote is a jerk.
When we were at the bulwark, the guard said something about the wings of the 10. Hikaru also mentioned it at the cool route. Dekka, too. What does it mean?
The visions tell us that the 10 flew on great metal machines with wings, and leapt into battle from the sky. For us, to imitate this feat is the ultimate expression of martial prowess, and it is why the challengers leap into the arena during the cool route. Many times I imagined it as a child. The feeling of freedom, and the awe it must have inspired.
Well, let me just go override a Stormbird for him and he can hop on.
What did Chief Hikaru say when you told him he'd be joining me here?
You spilt rebel blood at the Grove, and helped reunite the clans. There was little more to be said. He understood.
Well, I'm honored he lent me his best marshal. At least for a little while.
Indeed.
Yeah, Hikaru seems like a cool dude. Okay.
I heard my friend Tilda came by the base. Did you get a chance to...
Karja, he must have been...
Briefly. A bold woman
Yeah.
going into Tanukh territory with that Karja armor of hers. She'll be lucky if my people don't shoot her on sight.
She'll be careful. She's just looking for someone who might need her help.
Whoever it is, they better be worth dying for.
You've had some time with the team now. Any thoughts?
I admit, I was surprised to see an Utaru here. Farmers don't make for effective soldiers.
I'm told she rallied some in her tribe against the Karja, and fought all the way to Barren Light.
Interesting. Perhaps I am mistaken.
Yeah, maybe they'd seen each other years ago.
Have you had a chance to speak with Varl?
Briefly. He fought well against Regalla's troops at Barren Light. Are all Nora as skilled as the two of you?
I'm not exactly one of them. But anyway, the Nora can hold their own. They managed to push the Karja from their lands.
I thought my tribe was the only one to have done that. Impressive.
Does it still hurt?
It comes and goes. I try not to think about it, but its absence is always present for me. It's difficult to explain.
I can't claim to understand. Only empathize.
Then you have my thanks.
GAIA mentioned something about
What are you looking at over
helping
there?
him with that.
The others have been helping me decipher the symbols the focus shows me. So, I thought I'd try to understand the weapon you intend to use against the enemy. This Hephaestus, it will be able to make machines? That answer to GAIA?
Yes,
How many?
as many as we need.
Such power. Has the world ever seen the like?
Unfortunately, yes.
You said you were training with the Focus?
That's right. I've been watching holograms of your first fight with the Zenith Spectres. They are faster and more agile than any machines I've faced before. How many do the Zeniths have?
I'm not sure. Probably a lot.
I would not wish to face them en masse.
I'm with you there. Must be strange, seeing everything through a Focus now.
I can see machines like never before. Their strengths and weaknesses simply reveal themselves to me. To think that such a tiny object might be the most powerful weapon I've ever possessed.
He thinks like a fighter.
Getting Ether out of the Grove made for quite a spectacle.
One that showed the entire tribe that Hikaru's mission for peace is the correct path. for it is now blessed by the Ten themselves.
Anything else you've been looking at with that focus?
GAIA showed me the knowledge you recovered out in the desert. I am no chaplain, but I'd be curious to test if something I read is true.
What is it?
The old ones believed one could hear the great waters, even in the middle of the desert, if you carried the carcass of a water animal with you. They called them seashells.
That sounds kind of gross.
I wasn't expecting the carcass of a... Why does Kotalo have all the funniest lines, though? I hope we find seashells. We're going to the coast, right?
Now that you know who the enemy is, do you have any questions?
I'll admit, I find them hard to grasp.
Amazing.
From the heavens. And invulnerable.
For now.
I will leave the strategy to you. I trust you will point my blade where it will cut the deepest.
Okay.
I should get going.
Back to my training, then.
Oh, but they didn't mention, GAIA said we should talk to him about... Let's try again to talk to him.
Back again. I'm honored.
Woo! Sorry about that.
I gotta go.
Maybe it'll come up later.
I return to my training.
Interesting, yeah. No, I love Kotalo. He's great. I really do hope we get to help him out soon.
Huh. The door's unlocked now.
This is new, okay.
There's a lot of equipment in here.
Looks like
GAIA.
Botany, right?
What was all this for?
This room was designed for management of the facility's vast seed banks. From here, control center operatives would have monitored new crop rotations into the automated farmlands, now known as Plainsong.
I see.
The automated farmlands. Yeah, because the plowhorns. Yeah, interesting.
I've been tackling the design of the Ag Lab. Place is gonna have a lot of seed stock to work with. My favorite? Sample 626. Calotropis gigantea. The crown flower. We used to have one in our backyard. Butterflies always fluttering around. Every morning, August would run out there to check under the leaves. See if any caterpillars turned into chrysalises. Now, I'd like to imagine that the future will be filled with them.
Yeah. Do we know Reed? I'm trying to remember the name, but I'm not sure. What's this?
According to this console, there are still thousands of plant samples stored deep below the facility. I could ask GAIA about them the next time I talk to her.
Let's do that before we finish off today. It's a lot of talking, but I want to catch up with everyone. That's just Machine Strike. Okay. Where were we? Does this go downstairs? No, this is my room.
It was pretty weird talking to Beta, seeing someone who looks like me. Even though it seems like she doesn't act anything like me. Or Elizabeth, for that matter.
She probably has more in common with Elizabeth than you think. I don't know.
When I met Hikaru, I figured he was just another bloodthirsty warlord. Fishaw was right. Hikaru wants peace. It won't be easy. But with his new marshals, maybe his vision has a chance.
What's that on the, Oh, Oh, it's an ornament, right? From,
One of Morland's emblems.
Yeah.
The spark of a new dream for an ancient city.
Okay, that's it in here. Beta's down here.
Hi! Happy birthday, Isaac! Daddy
Oh.
sure does love his little big man.
She found that recording from the data on your focus.
That one recording keeps
She's been
coming
watching
back.
a lot. I think it helps calm her.
Oh.
You know,
She
I
looks
used to
so
watch this a lot,
sad.
too. Whenever I wanted to take my mind off things.
Daddy sure does love his little big...
But there's something you need to tell me?
While you were gone, I came down here to check on her. Then we started talking. Right, Beta? She's been thinking about how to capture Hephaestus, studying the data Gaia gave her. But
Oh.
we started talking about some other stuff. You know, just getting to know each other, right? And then she told me that one of the Zeniths might be different from the others.
Tilda. You saw her at the Hades Proving Lab.
Go on.
On the way to Earth, the Zeniths never showed their faces. My servitor caretaker referred to them as my benefactors.
Ew.
And promised I'd meet them someday, when I had learned enough. And then, one day, a data channel opened in my training interface. In it, Tilda was waiting for me, in a virtual replica of a house on a cliff, overlooking the ocean. It was beautiful. She showed me paintings, books, media files. We met there in secret many times.
Hmm.
But a few months later, it stopped.
Can you tell us why, Beta?
I found some data about Tilda at the Hades Proving Lab. I think she was the liaison between Far Zenith and Zero Dawn.
I think she was a thing
Elizabeth Sobeck. that's
with
for
Elizabeth
sure.
Sobeck.
Maybe that's why she reached out to you?
What else can you tell us about Tilda? She liked to talk about her paintings. What about herself? Did she ever talk about her life on Earth, how she joined the Zeniths, something like that? She never said much about herself, and she hated it when I asked too many questions. But I think, back on Earth, she was an expert programmer, given that she built a data channel the other Zeniths couldn't detect. Is there anything else about her that we might be able to use to our advantage? She was the first real person who ever bothered to speak to me. I wasn't really assessing her for strengths and weaknesses.
Fair enough.
You said that Tilda reached out to you using a data channel? It appeared in my training interface as another assignment. When I opened it, there were a series of intermittent glitches. I realized they formed a transpositional cipher. Instructions on how to open up a new virtual space.
Cool.
When I entered it, my training interface disappeared. Instead of the usual holographic teachers and files, I was in a perfect recreation of her home. And you're sure the other Zeniths never knew about it? To them, it looked like I was still in training, toiling away, alone.
Poor Beta, man.
So this secret virtual space looked like a house with an ocean view? I could see whitecaps and hear waves crashing on rocks below. And there were gulls crying outside. Inside, Tilda had frames that showed off her favorite paintings, changing at intervals to match the light. There was an armchair she liked. She'd sit there and gaze outside while I looked through her things. We spent hours in that house. I never wanted to leave.
I wonder if it's here in the West. Maybe we can find it.
You said Tilda showed you paintings and let you access media files? Every time we met, she showed me a new painting. I think she was Dutch.
Oh,
All
hey.
of her favorite pieces were from their golden age in the 1600s. Portraits, allegories, ships at sea. She had so many. They didn't interest you? I liked her media portal. It had so much more than my training interface. Clips, shows, holos. My favorite was this one called Second Time Around, about a family whose kid comes back after disappearing during the hot zone.
We found a data point about that.
But did this portal have anything about the Zeniths themselves? Anything we could use? No. Any information about them was redacted. So Tilda set up a secret virtual space where she could talk to you, a house on a cliff. Then later, she cut you off. But other than the fact that Tilda knew Elizabeth, you don't know why she did those things?
I don't, okay? I thought of every possible reason that would make her leave, but whatever I did wrong, I don't know what it is. When I finally met the others, she ignored me. Acted like the data channel never existed. None of this even matters. Tilda's the same as the others. It won't help us defeat them.
Okay. Let's leave it at that then.
I mean, I kind of blame Aloy for that one. She's just trying to pry information out of her, and I get it, but like, look at her. Ugh.
What's wrong?
I'm trying, Varl. But she is tough to take. I'm out there in the wilds, risking my life every day, and all she can do is hide in there and tell us how hopeless it all is. I'm sorry, she's had a rough time, but she is really not helping right now.
You always seem to be on top of everything, so I sometimes forget about what you've been through. I mean, it wasn't that long ago you were so banged up you couldn't even walk. About that. When I pulled you out of the water back near the proving lab, you were muttering Rost's name. You never talk about him, but he raised you, trained you. You must miss him a lot.
Of course I do. But I don't have time to think about that now. I need to get back out there.
Okay. I'll keep working with Beta. GAIA says she knows a lot about Zero Dawn. And maybe she just needs some time to adjust, and then she can help us with Hephaestus.
Sure. But I won't hold my breath.
Varl is too good for this world. Like, seriously. Ugh. I wish Aloy would just open up a bit for them. I don't know, like... We can talk to her, right?
Did you... Hey, I just, wanted to see how you're doing. I'm fine. And look, about earlier,
Forget it.
was there anything else?
Probably no new options, right? Okay, no, there's a couple.
So have you been able to make use of your expertise?
I guess so. GAIA transferred a lot of data on Hephaestus to study.
And? Any insights?
It looks like it's been modifying its code, increasing in size and complexity over the years. There's a lot to analyze still.
Okay, well... keep at it, I guess.
We've already seen those.
So have you been upstairs at all?
Not really. Varl sometimes comes down here to talk. He keeps asking if I'm okay. I thought he only wanted to know about my productivity, but... it's almost like he actually wants to talk to me.
This
Yeah.
poor girl.
I think he does.
Oh my gosh.
Have you talked with anyone else in the base?
I speak with GAIA. She asked me how I'm feeling and my opinion on various topics. I didn't expect that from an AI.
That's all thanks to Elizabeth. She believed GAIA had to care, not just follow her programming orders.
I know. Independent emotional processing enabled the previous version of GAIA to create you, after all.
Yeah. I guess so.
Weird response. I would be a bit weird about that too. Okay.
It's time for me to go. I'll check on you later.
Yeah, sure.
Tension. Okay. What's this door? Is there a way around there? I also don't recognize... This was how we snuck in, I think, right? Oh, it just goes up. Okay, it's the elevator shaft, right?
Looks like this room's changed. Is that your doing, Gaia?
Yes. I have repurposed the displays to track the cauldrons you have acquired data from.
Which displays? I still don't... I remember that line happening, but I don't see what they're talking about. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, they're right here. Okay, cool. I haven't checked on this in a while. Okay, we can do Plowhorn now. I gotta do a cauldron. It's been a long time, actually.
Whoever replaced parchment for this deserves a good hammer.
Okay, I think we've been everywhere. Yeah, I just wanted to take a look around, make sure that we've seen everything new in the base. Okay, there's a couple more.
Hey,
Of course.
Oh, that's a lot.
I should get back out there.
We'll be here if you need us.
I think we're actually going to take a break. That was a lot of dialogue. So, I think, yeah, okay, there's no other quests that we have to do. We're on to the Seeds of the Past now, which is, I remember it being left of the mountains, right? Yes. Which I think is probably the shore, if you zoom in. Yeah, you can see the water. Interesting. Okay, well, I don't think we're going to do it quite just yet. We just did 2 main quests, the Culvert and the Broken Sky. So, probably head back to the Bulwark, actually. I really want to explore this area. It's beautiful. There's going to be a lot to see. Probably a couple new machines too, hopefully. Although we're running out of new machines. This filled up really quickly. Yeah, I guess that's what we're going to do. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you then.